am licensed. I am regulated. I can go to jail for what I like. I have Big Brother over my shoulder, and here you are, this entire industry of real estate investors are being taught you can walk into a house with no money.
Hello, you're listening to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, presented by Brandon Elliott. This show will be going over all aspects of real estate investing and is intended to educate, motivate, and prepare you to take action on your first or next real estate investment. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Thank you for listening and enjoy.
Welcome back, everyone, to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Brandon Elliott. I'm excited to have John Gafford in the house with us today. He's a serial entrepreneur, author, a friend, the co-owner of Simply Vegas Real Estate, also clearing a clear title company. Been on, what was it, Apprentice in the past, which is awesome.
It was The Apprentice, yeah.
And you know, had that experience with Trump back in the day, and then got to, you know, start jumping into real estate, making a big impact, helping out a lot of people, based in Vegas. And now you have the book Escaping the Drift, which we want to dive into. But talk to me, man. Anybody who isn't familiar with who you are, where you're from, your background, and how you got here today, do you mind just giving that 30,000 foot view for listeners?
Yeah, of course, man. So I'm a guy that, in my early 20s, I had a lot of cool jobs. I did a lot of stuff that people would call cool, but I didn't have a lot of success. I didn't make a lot of money. You know, I demolished my credit like it was an Olympic sport. I mean, I did everything you shouldn't do. Had a lot of fun, but just didn't really get anywhere in life. And, you know, then kind of through some things that we did that we could talk about, built some businesses that wound up being fairly successful and learned a bunch of things along the way. And you know, got into real estate now. It's been, after my experience on The Apprentice, I left the tech industry where I was involved with then, and then got into real estate based strictly on the fact that the person that won my season of The Apprentice was like, go get a real estate license and sell real estate with me, Kendra Todd. And I was like, all right. So, you know, I saw a lot of people making a bunch of money, and that's what we did. And that was 20 years ago now. And it's been a great run. We've built now in Vegas, we have the largest luxury real estate brokerage in Vegas. We have 550 agents that work for us. We do over $2 billion worth of sales annually here. We're completely vertically integrated company with title and escrow, like you said, as well as mortgage, as well as a bunch of other things that touch the transaction. And a lot of people, I hear a lot of people that have had a journey similar to mine to success say things like, I wouldn't change anything. The struggle, the strife made me who I am. Yeah. And I say, no, I say, listen, that's why I wrote this book. It's kind of a user's manual to my dipstick 27-year-old self. If I could go back in time and just say, just do this and you'll be okay. I could have compressed time and accelerated, you know, because I always think, where would I be now had I started 8 years younger with a little bit better direction and a little bit better idea about what I was doing. And that was kind of the purpose for the book.
Yeah. John, you're not somebody that, or you don't take me for somebody that kind of lives in the past though, or with any type of regret, right?
No. I definitely don't. But you have to wonder, right? I don't, life's too short to sit around and regret things that you haven't done. I tend to say yes a lot to things, so I don't live like that. Yeah. Which drives my wife a little crazy sometimes, doing some adventure travel stuff that my wife doesn't necessarily love, but you know, that's how you do it.
Let's talk about family for a second, because you have an amazing wife, an amazing two kids that are on their way out of the house soon enough. And so we were just talking about kids just a moment ago. And, you know, as far as having a united, strong family, how much of that do you believe has helped towards your business growth of getting out there and just taking territory in the marketplace?
You know, there's a cliche out there that the most important decision you ever make is who you hire. And I 100% agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. And I think much like a business, you don't hire someone with the same skills as you. Yep. So my wife and I are very much yin and yang on the personality scale. I'm all gas, no brakes. She's very reserved. I'm very outgoing. She's a little bit more introverted. And I think it's a good mix. And I can tell you this, my wife has a very, very high EQ to the point where I would say she was an empath. And I've lost north of 7 figures on exactly 2 business deals. And both times she told me not to do the deals based 100% on the people.
Oh, okay.
And,
That's great.
And so now, and you've seen me, I take her to any place now where I might meet people, where we might do business, because I won't do business with anybody. And I'll tell people straight up, my wife has to get a look at you.
Yeah.
Not me. My wife's got to get a look at you, because after the last time it happened, I promised her, unless you bless the people, I won't do the deal. I don't care how sexy it looks on paper. I won't do the deal anymore unless you bless the people. And that has protected us now going forward. I don't think I put anybody in front of her yet that she said no to, since we've gone to that. But
yeah,
if that spidey sense ever goes up again, I mean, yeah, I'm going to listen.
I love it.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the book. You know, you mentioned that the things that you wish you would have known or got mentored, you know, back in the day when you were younger, growing up, starting off in business. What things in there could somebody actually take from right now? Yeah,
I mean, the one good thing about the way that I wrote this book is it's not just hyperbole. It's not, just here's a bunch of stories thrown together. Yes, it's told through the narrative of the stories of my life.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's good practical advice, and it comes with some exercises that you can do to actually use this as a workbook. For example, I think the biggest problem that most people have in where the book kind of starts is they're not the ability to be honest with themselves about where they currently are in life and what they did to lead to that situation. I think everybody has this visceral instinct to look externally for why their problems exist, instead of being able to take an honest inventory of your accountability in those situations, because it is the ego fighting against the reality of your situation. And until you take some radical accountability about where you are in life, you're not able to do that. Now, the biggest issue with that process is most people that have never done this, that begin to do this, take it too far into a state of almost self-loathing. Like I'm the reason, they turn themselves this, I'm the black cloud. No, we don't want to go quite that far. We just have to be honest about what's broken so we can start to fix it. And that's where really the book starts.
I love it. So who actually, was it somebody, or what was it that actually helped spark the idea of writing a book?
Again, I think we talked a little bit about family, and as your kids get a little older and things starts to change with your kids, you want to leave a little bit of a legacy, and you get to a place in your career you want to try to help as many people as you can. So it's something that I just kind of started toying with a couple of years ago, and I just started writing it a little by little. And at first you start kind of playing with it, and then it's like, okay, this could take shape. And writing a book is an interesting process in itself. For me, much like anything in life, and like I talk about how to accomplish goals within the book, and everybody that I've ever met that's accomplished at anything has a couple things in common. Number one, they have absolute clarity of goal. They know exactly where they're trying to get and why they're trying to get there. I mean, we have agents that come in and interview with us to work at our company all the time, and I'll ask them the same kind of lining of questions. And I'll say things like, okay, how much money do you want to make? And they're like, I want to make $250,000. And I'm like, okay, great. Why? And if they can't answer that question, the people that are like, well, I don't know, it just seems like it seems like a good amount of money. I
like that number. Yeah,
it just seems like a good number. Yeah. Versus the person that says, well, my kid's going to college and I want them to walk across that stage with a diploma in their hand, debt-free when they get done in 4 years. And I'm trying to buy a new house to get us in this neighborhood. I'm trying to do these things. These are the exact things of where the money is going to go. And they've already kind of reverse engineered how to get, what that's going to cost.
Yeah.
Well, that's a person that's going to get up in the morning and make the extra call. That's a person that's going to do the extra effort to achieve their goal because they have absolute clarity of why they're trying to get there. And then the second thing is you have to have a very clear path and a plan on how to get there. Most people don't do this. They say, I want to get this goal, but they don't take time to have a written plan. It is shocking to me in the real estate industry overall. If you look at people that are investors, if they're trying to be flippers, if they're trying to be real estate agents, if they're trying to do anything, how many of those people have a written business plan for themselves? It's shockingly low.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the situations that they're in, they have no idea what a KPI is.
Yeah.
They have no clue of how much either dollars or effort it takes to procure one transaction. No clue.
It's true. It's true.
No idea how to do that.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a plan for how to execute that, you're never going to get there.
Yeah. It's not really a business at the end of the day if you don't know these numbers. Yeah.
No, it's not. It's that third thing is absolute just consistency of execution. You've got to be consistent. Once you have that good plan, you've got to be consistent. So going back to the book, I found myself kind of piddling with it, saying, I went on, I know you know who Bradley is, he's a friend of mine, and I think you know him as well. And I went on Brad's podcast like 5 years ago, and Brad was like, oh, you should write a book. And I was like, I am writing a book. I wasn't at the time, but I just threw it on his podcast. And that's kind of that's what kind of made it real. And I said, yes, I am, Brad. I'm writing a book. So I started piddling with it because I'm like, well, I kind of put it out there. I kind of need to start messing around with this. And I didn't really get serious with it till after about a year. I said, wait a second, I need to kind of practice what I want to preach here. So I got a plan. I put a plan together about organizing the thoughts. And then I figured out how long it would take me to organize the thoughts, how long it would take me to put a chapter together, how long it would take all of these things to occur. And then I just started working the plan, right? I started time blocking time for me to get this stuff on paper and start working through it and working with an editor, and really got serious about it. And once I got serious about it, it got done pretty quick.
Love it.
Yeah. And I've learned a bunch of stuff through the process. It's funny. If you're ever thinking about writing a book, man, somebody should write a book about how to write a book.
Write a book. Yeah.
But because there's so much, there's so much stuff you don't know and you don't do. And, now anymore, I went with a publisher, which I like my publisher. My publisher's great. But in retrospect, I would have self-published this thing.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to just deal with all of your stuff and your landed costs. I was at dinner last Saturday with Eric Worre, who's got a book coming out. I don't know if you know who Eric Worre is. I'm sure you probably do. Eric's like the #1 multi-level marketing coach in the world. And his first book came out 13 years ago. He sold 6 million copies of, or 7 million copies, something like that. Go. So he hasn't had a book come out in 13 years. Yeah. He's got a massive following, and he is self-publishing this book by himself. And his landed cost, I won't go through exactly what it was. I don't think he wants it out there. Yeah. But let's just say the amount of money that he's going to make on this when he launches this is staggering.
Yeah, and real money.
And he has total control of how to market it, which when you do work with a publisher, you don't. But anyway, that's here and there.
So with the publishing company, though, were they able to help get on bigger platforms or bigger? I mean, you already had reach. You already have a network of awesome friends and so forth. But was there any type of benefits in that space? Give it to me raw.
I think the benefits were to say that you're published by a big public, that's the benefit. And it's nice to walk into Barnes and Noble and see your book.
Yeah, that's cool, right?
It's cool to see that. You know what I mean? That the distribution is cool.
Yeah.
But then again, at the end of the day, I mean, if you're an entrepreneur writing a book about being a good entrepreneur, kind of should probably want to make money, as much as you can. Yeah. And it's hard unless you have a serious home run with a book, which ours has done very, very well. We were #1 on Audible for like a month under new releases for education, which was great. The audiobook is wonderful. Although I will say this, if you do buy the audiobook, and please listen to it at 1.2 speed, not 1 speed, because recording that book was the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
Yeah.
Because here I am. It's funny. You think you're going to go to they say I'm going to go to LA and record the book. So here I am. I'm thinking like the Aerosmith studio with like a guy behind the glass and all that stuff.
Yeah. Feeling good.
No. It's not Snoop Dogg's studio. They put you in this the audiobook studio is a different place, and it ain't.
You're in the library with a headset.
No, you're in a closet. You're literally in a closet by yourself with a guy in your headphones just saying, slow down. You're reading too fast. You got to slow down.
Really?
So,
wow.
Oh yeah. So as I read that book, it was painstakingly slow to me. And if you're watching this now, you hear the rate at which I speak. And yeah.
How long did it take?
3 days.
3 days. Okay.
3 days.
You stayed out there for 3 days and just knocked it out. Yeah.
Oh yeah. 3 days to record that book. And, Yeah, it was a lot of time, but hey man, the reports have been good, and I like it because the people that do know me,
Yeah.
I share some stories from my life growing up. Are people a little surprised at some of the things that I've done or shouldn't have done? Is I guess is a better answer. So yeah, okay. I'm very candid with a lot of that stuff, and how you can do that.
Give me one piece from the book of like a learning curve or something, that the young John growing up, before doing all these crazy things in business. What would you say?
Well, I'll tell you a story from the book on just understanding a couple of things, and just to give an idea of how the books correlate to lessons. So I'll tell you a story. People ask me all the time how I got on The Apprentice, right?
Yeah.
You brought it up when we did this, and yes, at this point, I'm fully aware that it's like talking about how many touchdowns I scored in high school. Which was none, by the way, but I same thing. I get it, right? But it still makes for a good story, and God bless Trump, him staying president. He keeps being president, so it keeps making this more relevant than it probably should be. But so when I went out for that show, first of all, I didn't want to go, right? My sister said, hey, go try out with the show with me. I want to go. It was right after season 1 had wrapped, and they were getting ready to start filming or airing season 2. And so we went to an open call in like Jacksonville, and then we went through that, and then they called me, not my sister. And then they just kind of kept calling me and sending out all these applications that you had to fill out, all of this stuff over and over. And eventually I found out that if you made the finals week was in LA, they'd fly you out, and they were going to take the top 50 people that they found, and that's the group they were going to select the cast from. So I just got, I got a little competitive with it. So I was like, all right, if I can get to top 50, that'd be kind of cool. Because 2 million people tried out for this thing that year.
Wow. Yeah. 2 million people. And your sister is the one that wanted to get in there.
Yeah. And, and they're picking me, which she was very supportive of. God bless her. That's one. So anyway, I make it to finals week. I finally get there. So I say, okay, here's the deal. We're going to fly you out to LA, and we're going to put you up in the embassy suites with everybody else. Don't wear anything that could designate where you're from. No colleges, no anything. And when you get there, don't talk to anybody. Somebody will greet you there. Be prepared to spend the entire week in your room, because when we need you, we're going to come and get you, but you're not going to talk to anybody else other than that. and just so be prepared to spend 5 days in a hotel room by yourself. Okay.
Wow.
So we get there, and you find out very quickly why that is, because they're casting the show out of this group of people, but they don't want you to meet at this hotel. They want you to meet on camera.
Yeah.
So they would come get us for meals, and you would go to the restaurant, and there's 51 tops in the restaurant. There's one person at every table, and nobody's talking, and everybody's just kind of looking around at everybody else, making up stories about who these people are.
Yeah.
And then they would take you for psychological tests and IQ tests and interviews and all this stuff. And after about 3 days, I started to notice there weren't 50 people anymore in the restaurant. Now there's 30 people.
Wow.
I'm like, they're sending people home. They're making cuts as they decide no on people.
Yeah. So
we get to the last day, and they say, today's the big day. Mark Burnett, who is the executive producer, and it was his show, he'll be here today with the NBC brass. He's coming in. And really important you make a good impression today. I'm like, okay. So put on my best suit, and I go up to interview, to introduce myself to Mark Burnett, and the doors open. It was in one of those conference suites where they have the double doors, whatever, in the NBC suite. So I open the doors, walk in, and there's a couch, and there's cameras coming, and then there's about 20 people in there from NBC, and then there's Mark Burnett sitting in the middle of the couch, and he's eating M&Ms.
Yeah.
And I walk in, and I stick my hand out. I go, how you doing, Mr. Burnett? My name's John Gafford. Nice to meet you. And he looks at my hand, and he just places one peanut M&M in my hand. Doesn't shake it. Places a peanut M&M.
Kidding me.
Yeah. And then so I start going into this full spiel on how I'm the greatest person. I would be a great employee for Trump and all my credentials and all the things that he should do. And he's asking me questions like, hey, your buddy Rick said your girlfriend's about to dump you. And I'm like, what? What's this guy talking about? Kind of skip over that. But I also, in a sales setting, have a pretty high EQ, and I could just feel the room kind of slipping away. I'm people are starting to look up their phones and take a look, and I'm like, man, this is not going well. Not going the way I want it to go.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, geez. So it ends mercifully, and I walk out of the room, and I go downstairs, and I start packing my stuff because I already know it's coming, right? I know that Big John's about to be sent home. And there's a knock at the door, and the PA walks in, Paul Gordon, and he goes, "They want to see you again." And I go, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, man, I need a minute. Give me a minute. Yeah. If I'm going back up there, I gotta go up there the way that I want to go up there this time." So I said, "I gotta hit the mini bar, dude. Let me hit the mini bar."
Yeah, come on.
So I hit the mini bar, and I walk upstairs, and those big double doors again, and I kick them as hard as I can. Bam! And those doors hit the wall. Everybody jumps as I walk in, and I walked in, and I just said, "Listen."
Let's go, John.
I just said, "Listen." I said, "If you want to know why you should put me on your little television show, I'll tell you." I said, "Before you say one more fucking word to me, I'm going to tell you why you should put me on your little television show. When you make an investment in me, you get back 100 times what you invest." And I pulled a bag of M&Ms that I stole from the mini bar. I threw them in his face. I said, "Thanks for the fucking M&M," and I walked out. That was the second interview.
Me, dude.
and the door closed, and everybody started laughing. And Paul Gordon goes, "That was awesome. Oh my God, it's awesome." And what is the lesson of that? Like, what's the life lesson in that? Like, that's stories in the book, as well as a bunch of other stuff. And the life lesson from that book is this: I never assume I know what people want. I never, from that moment forward, I go into every situation, never assuming that I know what people want. Although I do have a similar situation that reminds me daily with that one. A lot of people have, they have awards in their office. Their office, like you behind you, I see you have you have Russell Brunson fund. My office is filled with failure. And I do that. I'm like a serial killer where I collect these trophies of misery to remind me of things through my life, right? Yeah. Like, well, again, on the don't assume you know what people want.
Yeah.
I guess it took me a little longer to learn that lesson than I would like, because another story out of that is also in the book is shortly after The Apprentice ended, I got a phone call from a casting director in New York City.
Okay.
Who said, "David Flabbot, who wrote Will and Grace and a bunch of other NBC sitcoms at the time, loves you. Saw you on The Apprentice. He loves you. He wants you to fly to New York and read for a part in his new sitcom." And I'm like, okay, I'm not an actor. It's not my thing. So I call my buddy in LA that was kind of an actor. Yeah. And I go, "Hey, this just happened. What should I do?" And he's like, "Okay, that is a real person that you were talking to. Like, that's a well-known casting director. Sure. Yet you say yes and you go because you never know." So I'm like, "All right." So they go, "Okay, we need to FedEx you the script," because apparently that's what they did back then. They didn't. Yeah. I don't know if they still do it, but they FedExed me the script. And oh God, the part was for a show called Goody's Place, and thank God they never made this thing because I'd have to suffer through watching it, But so I get the script, and on the the second page, it says, and I have this literally in a shadow box in my office on the wall, like this is on my desk highlighed to also teach me. Yes, I have the whole script in a shadow box.
Yeah, come on.
And the lesson again is never to assume you know what people want. Because I'm looking at it, it says enter Goody Villette, and it says mid-30s, overweight, like charmish, like boyish charm, but by no means man candy. And I was like, what? I'm like, this is like I'm the fat, like not handsome guy. I'm like, this is what they want me to read for? And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm reading the thing, right? I get through it. And like on page 7, it said, enter his cousin, Vincent or something. And it said, tall, loud, obnoxious, think Vince Vaughn from Swingers. And at that point in my life, like I could, if I had a quarter for every time somebody said I reminded him of Vince Vaughn, I'd have been a rich man. It was just, when I did my Today Show interview after The Apprentice, they put up a side by side of me and Vince. It was crazy. That's all anybody ever wanted to talk about. And so I'm like, oh, now I see what's happened. There's been a mistake. So they fly me to New York, and I walk in, and there's this casting director, and I'm like, all right. So I walk in, and I'm like, excuse me, before we get started, I believe there's been some sort of a mistake. And I'll never forget, there was the casting person and the camera person. The camera guy goes, and like looks around the corner at me like, who is this guy? And I said, yes, you told me you wanted me to read for X, but I believe what you really want me to read for is Y. And then she looks at me, and I'll never forget the look on her face. She just goes, you can do whatever you want. I knew in that moment I had blown it. And of course, I never got a call back after that. But when I called my buddy and I told him what I did, he goes, dude, those descriptions don't mean anything. Like in the script, they don't mean anything.
Oh,
It's just what he was thinking at the time when he wrote it. It doesn't, it's irrelevant. And so I was like, oh man. Oh yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, this is not good. So yes, again, a small lesson. Yeah, a small lesson. But dude, but now like, I don't assume I ever know what anybody's looking for me or looking for from me ever.
Yeah. My God, dude, that is hilarious. Totally different atmosphere, or works a little differently. So that's good.
Oh no, for sure. For sure.
John, talk to me. So for any business owners that are just getting started out there, that they, that they're looking for that motivation and they want to cut some of the learning curve. You've had tremendous success of putting in the grind, the work, the effort, the energy, the efforts towards all different areas of life, and have been successful over the years. But like you said, you've had a few setbacks, 7-figure setbacks from not choosing the right people, right? What would you say to that beginning entrepreneur that is trying to get their motivation and get out there and make something of themselves?
Well, again, also in the book, all this stuff, but one of my other trophies of misery that I have in my office is I have $100,000 bottle of vitamins that sits on my desk. And a lot of people say, and it's actually, I light it up from the bottom. It's like Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's how special it is to me.
$100,000 worth of vitamins?
No, one bottle of vitamins is that I spent $100,000 on one bottle.
Oh, snap. Jeez.
Yeah, not really. And the lesson here is, so many, many, many moons ago, this is 25 years ago, my sister came to me and said, let's start a multi-level marketing company based on nutritional supplements. Yeah. So we went out and filled up a warehouse full of $100,000 worth of vitamins and, white label nutritional supplements before we asked anybody if they ever wanted to buy one. And I'll give you a spoiler alert, they did not want to buy one. So that is my lesson too. I don't care how in love I am with an idea. And as entrepreneurs, we fall so in love with our own ideas. So good. It does not matter what your product is. It doesn't matter how much you love it until you discover if there is a market for it. Yes. So I do not do anything unless I know for a fact I have market fit. Yep. I know that I understand exactly, clearly, and can explain what problem I solve for people, and that it really is a problem. I mean, all businesses are kind of built on a couple of core fundamental ideas. Number one, you have to have a problem that you solve. Yes. And I find a massive drop off here for most people is the problem that entrepreneurs decide that they solve for people is not really a problem for people. Yeah. Right. They're like, like, dude, years ago, again, another one of my failures, which I've had way more wins than failures, thank God. But I invented this thing that to this day, I still think is, I don't know how this missed. But again, even with the market testing, and we thought we had a market for it, the problem wasn't big enough for people. I invented this thing, and I think we're going to relaunch a version of it now. I'll tell you what it is. I don't really care. Yeah. But I launched this thing, this is 10 years ago, probably, called Realtor. Realtor. And what it was it was designed to work with Android pads, where an agent that was listing a property could go in and, like, they were there showing the house, could record each room as a guided tour. And then they just leave the tablet at the front door. And then when they didn't have to be there for every showing, because most houses are on lockbox, but this enabled you to kind of be there. So when a buyer's agent who knew nothing about the house would walk in, they could pick up the tablet, and then you were like there showing them the house. Still think it was a great idea. Yeah. Too many problems with the mechanics of the tablets is what it turned out to be. But even that, I loved it. I thought it was a massive problem. Here I'm thinking everybody should want to have this. And then we very quickly found out most realtors just didn't care. I was like, I don't care. We'll just put it on lockbox and let the house do the job, which is terrible, crazy, but true.
It's crazy though, how many people fall in love with their own ideas, or like they had a small little problem and they feel like everybody has that. So they go so far and so deep into this one thing without actually like getting a survey, without actually testing the market and seeing, hey, am I really solving a big, massive problem? Because if you can solve a big, massive problem that affects the whole world, billions and billions of people, even if you get a cent off of that, it adds up. you know?
Or you solve a real world problem for a niche amount of people that will pay high dollar to solve that problem.
Yes.
Like
so good.
it's much easier to get that idea going and that idea moving because it's easier to test because you can market heavy niche into that. You can spin up a website. I mean, how many AIs now can spin up a marketing website and a funnel? You can get on high level and get a product website without even having the fulfillment of the product. And then you simply market it and see what your conversion rates are and see if you can make money doing this. And then you can, again, it's about establishing market fit through understanding price matrix, what your value ladder is, all of those different things that you can establish without ever having a product or doing any fulfillment.
Yeah. So good.
Just see how many people how many people are willing to actually click the order button.
Yeah.
Yes, I want it up. And then you just have a message up. Hey, you look, we're sold out, whatever it is, we're going to get back to you. No problem. And that becomes your marketing list. What
are your thoughts with the market right now? And just where we're at with rates and an economy. Well, I know nobody's got the crystal ball, but I know you got a lot of experience. So would love your feedback.
Yeah. You know, I think that if you look at there's a lot of different answers to that question depending on the market.
Sure.
You know, there was a report that came out the other day talking about Las Vegas specifically. And again, I believe real estate is so localized.
Yeah.
That to talk about anybody that tries to talk about the real estate market as a whole, like the whole country and every part of it, you're a hack. I mean, other than federal rates, you're just a hack if you try to talk about it. I'm never going to sit there and tell somebody in San Diego what their market looks like because I don't study it every day. Yep. But like there was a report that came out here in Las Vegas that is a good example of how the truth is normally something different. And it said that Las Vegas, we had a median sell price reduction of like 5% or something, 5 point something percent from like the high of 470 to they receded to like 458 or something it was. And the story there is, now keep in mind, our core business at Simply Vegas is we're in the ultra market, right? That's our core business. So
exactly,
dude, we were blowing houses north of 8-9 million. Yeah, we were blowing them last year. We were just slinging them last year because we're still a haven for people relocating from California. Now my phone rings all day from people from Washington. Thank you very much, Washington State, for that 10% income tax. Yeah. But so when you look at that, well, the median price has receded. Well, yeah, a handful of ultra luxe sales can drastically affect that number. And so it really affects that. And as soon as I saw that number, I go, yeah, but if you look at the top end of the market, which has driven it for much of the last 18, 24 months, that's not real.
So it's the news, tweaking the truth, showing.
But it is the truth, but they just didn't bother. There's an underlying story to all of it. Yeah. So the key is getting with people who are understanding what the underlying stories are. Right? Yeah. Like if you look from the investment side, I can tell you, I don't care what the market is, strictly based on how long the interest rates have been elevated. The syndicators that were syndicating deals 3 years ago are getting absolutely slaughtered right now. Yep. Anybody that was in second position or gap funding on a syndicated deal. Yep. If you haven't already gotten hammered, you're about to get hammered. And again, I think there's a way to handle that and there's a way not to handle it. I know that there's people that have been very forthright with their investors and very communicative with them the whole time. And then I know people that invested in a deal that all of a sudden get an email that says, hey,
like we're done.
Sorry. Sorry. And I think that's the wrong way to do it. Oh, yeah. I think like anything else, there's always opportunity. On the investment side, I can tell you, I think the business is going to dramatically change over the next 5 years. I think you're seeing a lot of regulation. I think you're going to see, like Nevada, I know for a fact, wholesaling is going to be illegal in Nevada in the next 12 months.
Really?
When Session comes back, wholesaling is better than fried chicken. Yeah.
Oh man.
It's not crazy, because here's the problem. How am I going to say that? How am I going to say this? Well, here's again. Yeah. Well, no, I'm trying to think we can frame this properly, right? Yeah. That any business that operates in, let's just call it a gray area.
Yeah, it's a gap.
Any area that operates in a gap of public knowledge or public opinion
Yep.
that is very one-sided in most cases on who's winning and who's losing in the transaction.
Yep.
When it operates in a vacuum that's unknown to the public, it can operate pretty much autonomously. With the birth of social media and the real estate coach and the let me hold up my checks of $100,000 of $200,000, $50,000 of all these checks that everyone wants to flex online. And in most cases, it is incredibly uneducated people that are doing this.
Yep.
Well, now people start to pay attention. And when you start to pay attention, you start to see the markets where this money is being generated. All of a sudden people start saying, hey, maybe that should be regulated. Maybe that's not okay. Maybe that's not a good idea. So and good. My issue with kind of wholesaling is a whole. And like, I love Pace Morby. I consider Pace a friend. And, but a couple weeks ago, Pace came on and chose violence on his social media.
Yeah.
He came on and was like, realtors, people are talking about you. You be lying. You're saying you got it, just attacking realtors, which is what I do.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's my arena. And I'm like, well, wait a second.
Let's talk about wholesalers first.
I'm like, I'm
brand new one. Yeah.
I am licensed. Yeah. I am regulated. Yeah. I can go to jail for what I like. Yeah. I have Big Brother over my shoulder. Yeah. And here you are, this entire industry of real estate investors where are being taught you can walk into a house with no money, no credit, and no ability to close on a property,
and no education,
and write a contract with your name on it.
Yeah, from somebody else's contract.
Well, there's a word. There's a word for that. When you walk in to tell somebody you want to buy their house for cash with no ability to do that, and that word is fraud.
Yeah,
and it's absolutely fraud. Like from the second they walk in the house and pitch it that way, it's fraud.
Yeah,
and it's not. They don't teach it that way. And like for example, the other day I saw a guy who quotes himself as one of the biggest, investment instructors anywhere. I don't know the guy's name. I saved the video. Boy. No, I saved the video.
Pull it up.
But this is an example of this. Let me find him because I saved the video. I don't want to misspeak. But this is an example of exactly what I'm talking about and the problem with that industry, because this dude, and this is from his site. So this is RJ Bates III. I don't know who this dude is. Never met him.
Yep.
Right? Never met this guy, but I want you to listen to this. Let's listen to this together, and then you tell me what's wrong with this. You ready? Hang on.
You get my question, how do you convey, and do you have a contract that clearly states that we may not perform if we cannot find a buyer? Yeah, in the description down below, King Closers Formula, Titanium Profits. It's our comping and underwriting training, but that's where we give our contract, and it absolutely has on there the inspection period.
Okay, so the question was, if you missed that, the question one of his students asked him was, is there a clause in the contract that states if we cannot find a buyer, we can cancel the contract? And his answer was, yes, there's a clause about our ability to cancel because of inspections.
Yeah.
What does that? What do those two things have to do with anything?
Yeah.
That is not what the guy asked. The guy said, because what the guy said is, are we being transparent? Because here's the problem. You're not being transparent about selling the paper.
Yep.
Because if you walked in anybody else's house and said, hey, we're going to buy your house cash, or one of the options is, I'm going to take this.
Yeah.
I'm going to tack $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000 onto it, then I'm just going to pocket and somebody else is going to give you $220. The seller is going to be like, well, why don't I just go to them and get $220 instead of giving it to you?
Yep.
And the answer is, if you put it on the open market, you would get that.
Yep.
Doesn't 100%. Matter. It doesn't matter the condition. You don't have to make any repairs. You don't have to do that stuff. You would, because every real end use investor I know also buys off MLS. They buy everywhere.
Yeah,
a deal's a deal. 100%. It's by condition. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant to them. Nobody's like, nope. I only buy from wholesalers. Can't do it.
Yeah, most of my deals have been on market or pocket listings from a good realtor and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, but the point is, like, that's the stuff that's the stuff that is flowing freely through the internet. And people are like, oh gosh, why are they making wholesaling illegal everywhere? That's why.
Yeah. That's
why.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. It definitely does. It's a crazy industry. It's a crazy world we live in right now. And I appreciate you sharing that feedback. That's good. I like it. John, I appreciate your time today. Thanks for jumping on the podcast. Anything that you want to leave with the listeners, and then how can they get a hold of you? And of course, areas to grab the book. Would you prefer just on Amazon?
Yeah, you can go to Amazon and buy it. You can buy it Barnes & Noble. You can pick it up local shop, wherever you want to buy it. You can follow me at the John Gafford on all socials. Also, my podcast, Escaping the Drift, the same name as the book. Or you can go to the John Gafford.
Nice. Awesome. Well, guys, go reach out to John. He is a wealth of knowledge. He has this amazing book, and his podcast has been incredible. He's had incredible guests on. How long have you been doing the podcast now?
We've been doing it for 4 years now.
4 years. Love it. Mm-hmm. You got a ton of episodes out, and has been just a wealth of knowledge on there. So follow John, show some love, grab the book. There's going to be great stuff in there. Connect with John. And if you want to get a hold of me, you can always do so on Instagram. It's Brandon Elliott Investments, or our business page, Credit Counsel Elite, on Instagram. And as always, if you're looking for funding, getting up to $500,000 in new funding, we have access to be able to show you step by step how to talk to these banks, position yourself properly so you can get 0% type of loans and credit lines. So check out creditcounselelite.com. Would be happy to have a conversation with you and see if it's a good fit. With that being said, make sure you hit the subscribe button to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. We'll see you on the next episode next Monday, and then leave that 5-star review. We'll see you next time. God bless. Peace out. Thanks, John. Appreciate you.
You bet. Have you been walking the whole time?
I've been walking, baby. I've been walking.
I love that. I just noticed it on the clothes. Yeah, I just noticed it. That's so funny.
I keep on forgetting to ask, like, is this cool? Because some people, it throws them off hardcore. They're like, why are you moving around so much?
No, I didn't even notice till the end. That was great.
That's cool.
It's good.
Anything that I could do for you or connect you with anyone?
No, man, I'm good. You know,
you're more connected than I am. So
stop. No. I'm good. And as always, man, anything you guys ever need in Vegas, just let me know.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I don't know. I think next time we'll be in town. We're gonna record with Sean, but that's it. That's all we're doing. Yeah.
So we're getting ready to we're doing a massive expansion right now, which is good. So we learned something. We learned towards the end of last year was we kind of built an unsellable business.
In what way?
We're too big for like a brand to walk in and write us the check that we want, and we're not big enough for private equity to buy us. So we kind of put this mission in place to get to 3,000 agents in 5 years. So 3,005. And we think we can do that. We can't do it in Vegas. There's only so many good agents here. So in the next, probably our goal is 90. It'll probably be more like 120 to get the first one open in Scottsdale. So we'll see Simply Scottsdale will open, and then Simply Denver, and then Simply Seattle. And we'll start popping up Simplies all over the West Coast. California will probably, if we do California, would be very, very towards the end. Just, easy to do the real estate business there, very tough to do the title business, which is where we make most of our money. California probably last. So we'll probably dip into, my son's going to school in Dallas, so we'll probably dip into Texas and build a West Coast thing. And the goal is just, we'll get to 3,000 agents, and then we can exit to private equity.
Nice. Smart move. How long until then?
5 years. 5 years. We think we can do it in 5.
5?
Yeah. We think we can do it in 5. Yeah. That's the goal.
I love it. That's awesome, man. It's exciting. Your daughter's 1 year younger than your son, right? So she going?
Roma will be a junior next year. So she's 2 years younger. She'll be a junior.
Okay.
Yeah. So Hayden is, my son, kind of a crazy deal, man.
Dude, he's a giant, just like you.
Well, dude, listen to this shit though. He got super DEI'd. It was terrible. He was 4.97 GPA, valedictorian of his class, 35 ACT, and got smoked by like all the Ivies.
Why?
White male.
Really?
Not doing it.
Oh, man. You got to put like a Hawaiian or something on there.
No, put your gay, put anything. No, but
yeah,
so
right.
The good news is, of all the places he got accepted,
some bullshit, isn't it? That's crazy.
Well, he really wanted to go to an Ivy school, but I'm so grateful that did not happen, just because I don't need a kid. I don't need to pay a shit ton of money to have my kid go to school and then come back after the first year and tell me why I'm an asshole for having enough money to send him there in the first place. I don't do that. No, he's going to SMU, which is awesome. And
cool.
It's top 1% of households send their kids there. It's one of the wealthiest schools
Oh,
per
great.
capita in the United States. Yeah, go build your network, dude.
Yeah, dude. That's
And-
what it's about.
And
Yeah.
they gave him everything.
Let's
I mean,
go.
I mean,
Perfect.
it's 600 grand to go there for 4 years, and he got everything.
Oh shit. Let's go.
So yeah, and it's in Dallas proper, which I like Dallas. So,
Yeah. Good visits for you guys. Yeah.
yeah, good. And I have Tim Harriet there. I have people that I trust, like family, that I can, if something shit hits the fan, I know he can run over and help him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's good.
Until
Yeah,
you
so
fly
it's good.
over there. So it's good.
Yeah, which is good. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, fuck, I give Tim $2 million. I think he fucking could help me take care of my kid if he needs it.
2 million for what? For coaching?
No, I buy notes from Tim.
Oh, you do. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yes. All day.
Dude, all day.
Yeah.
I love his paper, dude.
Is that the biggest thing that you're investing in right now? Notes?
Yeah, buying paper. Yeah,
How long are those typically converting?
bro. There's 60 to 90 day turn. I'm getting 2
Are they?
points. I'm getting 2 points discounted, 12% interest. So it blends out to almost 19%. And I can turn the money like fucking crazy, and it keeps it relatively liquid because it goes out and comes right back in.
Yeah.
It's not like I sent him a lump of money. I'm buying individual loans off a tape that I'm in first position on 70% LTV.
Yeah.
So I'm like, please fucking default.
Yeah. Are you having to pick everything and he just sends you the paper so you have to pick
No,
it all?
they send me the entire tape and
Yep.
I go through it. And, of course I just use the AI to analyze the
Yeah.
markets based on current market conditions and most likely to do this, or if they were to foreclose, where I'd want to own the places with the best possible yield. And I have I have all of their information on their credit profile of everything from each buyer or borrower.
Come
So
on.
I haven't had anything. I've been doing this now with him for, I don't know, almost 18, 19 months, and I haven't had any problems yet, knock on wood. But the best
Yeah.
part is, a problem is I get a house. So what do I care?
Yeah. I'll take a house. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. That somebody else just did all the work at 70%. Yeah, no problem. I'll take that all
Yeah.
day.
Are you doing any other investments right now?
Nah, I mean, look,
Anything exciting?
yeah, I no.
We're
I
doing more
don't-
ground up construction right now. Everything else, like we got rid of all of our properties in other states. We only have Arizona and out here in San Diego. We switched it from short-term rentals because I was just falling apart. It turned into long-term, but it's not cash flowing, so it's like fuck. And then
No pad split, none of that shit.
we're doing the ADUs out here. So that's the ground up construction we're doing. And so it's good because it's, it's just it costs $300 a square foot to build, but it's worth $900 afterwards. But it's like,
Yeah.
do we take out all that and get over leveraged again? Or do we take out just enough, or do we sell it? We're not going to sell it for probably the 900 what it's worth. So not in
Yeah.
this market. So it's kind of weird.
No, for me, dude, it's like I can just like I got all the money I'm putting out, except for like the note stuff that's easy,
Yeah.
is into our scaling operation, because
Yeah.
I know what these things make, right?
Yeah,
I
100%.
I know what I can count on here, and then
Yeah.
I also believe that as soon as rates dip, 5.5 is the magic number for me.
Yep.
When rates hit 5.5, it's going to be an onslaught again.
Yep.
And that's when, the residential real estate brokerage model will just fucking blow up again. So,
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
and dude, and we're doing, I mean, it's been a really hard market for the last 2 years, and we're killing it still.
Come on.
I
Let's
can't
go.
I cannot complain about my businesses at
Yeah.
all.
Come on.
At all.
Hey, man,
So,
let's
at
go.
all. Yeah, at all.
Yeah. I think the brick and mortar business, that's the spot to be. Even a lot of the online guys the last year or two have been getting slaughtered and falling out. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think, with real estate, especially when things get hard, people want to be around other people. And like those,
Yeah.
the EXPs of the world, the Reels of the world, those virtual brokerages, people get a little fatigued for that. They're like, they yearn for a little bit of the connection, like Simon Sinek had, the magic's in the hallways, man. And if you don't have hallways, fucking magic.
Yeah.
And I'm yet to see a market where a virtual brokerage is outperforming a brick and mortar.
Yeah.
I'm yet to see any market where that's happened. So until that happens, I won't do it. And plus, now with Compass buying anywhere, you look at it, they'll be rolling into that tech stack across all of those brands. So now you've essentially got all of those brands because agents for the most part are lazy. So they're going to operate from that playbook. So the more that they all become the same, the easier it is for us to stand out. So merge all you want, folks. Keep merging.
Do what you want. Yeah.
Merge away. Yeah. It's good for me when that happens. It makes them more same. Anyway, well, dude, hey man, I appreciate you guys. Tell Jenna I said, what up?
Yeah.
And
tell wifey we said hi too.
I will. And when you come to Vegas, please call me. Dude,
I will. All
Promise?
right, man.
I'll see you.
Bye.
This has been another episode of Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, brought to you by Brandon Elliott. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Also, please don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Thanks again for joining. Until next time.